Hey everybody, it's the Doctor here with Typical Manga Fan, and in this episode of the Typical Manga Review, we'll be going over Bleach, Chapter 633, Friend 3, the continuing adventures of Hash Brown and the Red Rider BB Gun. And we open up with Yowak telling Haschwalt, I know your name, together we are whole. And Basby just, what?
It's actually one thing I'd like to note is that Yuabak, in terms of hair color, is the opposite of Hashwald, who's like supposedly, was he blonde or white or something like that?
I don't know which one he's supposed to be on there. He's definitely supposed to be like pale, or he's the pale, haired pretty boy for sure.
Yeah. So it's kind of like Yuabak's opposite, who doesn't look as pretty as you could say. You could say. It's interesting that even in appearance, they do seem like opposites.
Yeah, I mean, Haschwald's not quite getting what's going on here, but Yowak's telling him, like, you don't need to know, but you're going to be my advisor. I won't actually listen to your advice because you're ignorant, but you're going to be on my side, so deal with it.
Yeah, and then Basby's hella pissed off, and he's like, gives this really mean look at Hashwald, which is like, I think the first step to them not becoming friends anymore, because at this point, Hashwald's still dependent on Basby for like everything.
And now Basby's not important anymore, which I think is what's pissing him off here in the present too.
Yeah, because he talks about how he was always better than Hashwald, and the thing is though, like Hashwald legitimately, I think, was attached to Basby, and the fact that Basby turned on him kind of just like it takes away another connection that Hashwald has, which is why he's like, well, you did it first, so I don't feel bad in betraying you later, type of thing.
Yeah.
Which is later implied in this chapter.
Yeah, right after this, kind of an odd thing, like Hashwald, kind of still in his unconfident phase, like wonders if Yowak didn't make some kind of mistake, and this little recruiter guy starts getting all pissy. He's like, you better watch your tongue. You should be as honored as Master chose you. What possible mistake? Like, he's just a big old suck-up is what he is.
You know what's interesting? Is that the Quincy all hate each other, but they all, like, adore Yuabak, except for Basby. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. It's like he actually says, like, Oswald even says Basby's probably more qualified than he is. Like, more fit to be at his side, but it's like, before I can escalate any further, like Yowak stops him, and we see the multi-eye thing again.
Yeah, by the way, I think Basby is pissed off that Hassel is kind of patronizing him.
Or at least he sees it that way. At the very least, he's pissed off that Hasswald's more important than him all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, Hassel isn't intentionally doing it, but that's what he is doing.
Yeah, but at the same time, and what's coming next will not help, because Yowak goes on to point out that he doesn't realize what Hasswald's power is. The reason he's had so much trouble using Quincy power isn't because he's weak. It's because he has the same power Yowak does. A Quincy with the power to share power. I mean, apparently that's the first time in 200 years that such a birth has occurred. Like, such a Quincy has been born. And even Basby's kind of making the connection here with that.
Yeah, but that means, if you think about it, there's only been 2 Quincy's like that, because it said that Hassel, because it's implied in a way that there have been many Quincy's like that, but in reality it's like, no, because they said that Yuabak was the first Quincy. So that means that Hassel and Yuabak are the only 2 people who have been like that. Yeah, so it's interesting that Yuabak knew about him, like his name and everything, before they even saw him.
Remember, he's got the Almighty.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And he goes on to point, like, unlike other Quincy's, he can't absorb spiritual power from his surroundings and turn it into power. He can only give it to those around him. And that's what Yowak did. He gained his power by learning to give power, grow it, and then take it back. Of course, Hasswald, he says, can't even do that. Then, redheaded child, you must have felt your power increasing daily as you spent time with this one. Did you think it was actually your own power?
Wow, what a dick. I mean, it's like, why do... Yeah, now that I think about it, why do people like Yuabak again? Because it's like, he's such an ass to everyone. It's like, okay, wow.
I mean, at least Hasswald's making sense.
Yeah, it's just I just... And he's like, you're the one who should be kneeling to Hasswald, because he's the one who basically made you this powerful.
Yep.
And then Hasswald gives the stare that I think is like finalizing that detachment from each other. And he's like, okay, we're leaving, let's go. And I think it's like, I need you by my side. I think it hits a sensitive spot on Hasswald, kind of like how I think the uncle thing, where he feels like he's needed by someone. So again, letting himself be defined by someone else. Wow, that is literally Hasswald's character.
He's like a pretty boy baby 5.
Hello, hello Sakura number 2. Yeah, but basically baby 5. That's actually the better example, baby 5.
Yeah. Anyway, it's Basby gets pissed, shoots an arrow which Hasswald catches mid-air, and we come back to the present where Hasswald's doing the exact same thing. and pretty much just giving a Basby a slash to the gut.
Okay, so I have two things to say about this.
I have one thing of my own, but you go first.
Okay, so the first thing is, I like the fact, I like how the friendship started and broke up. I think it's actually a pretty cool thing to do because I actually do feel the emotion. I get why they're no longer friends, and I get that type of animosity between them because holy shit, you had this confidence throughout your entire life, and you kind of treat him as kind of like the secondary class guy next to you, and kind of Hashwell kind of took that in, and then when you find out it's the other way around, your whole world shatters, both of them. And so I get that. I really wish I don't. Even though that I like that. It's just kind of like that. Does that pay off from all this wait? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, there might be something coming in the next chapter too that might pay off with it. I think that it does set up one thing that's more important. That's part of the one thing I want to say about the chapter. But you said you got a second thing to go into.
Yeah. Well, first off, okay. Well, another thing is that I'm happy that the flashback's over. At least seemingly so. I thought it would be longer, and honestly, I think it still might be. Who knows? He might go back into like a second flashback. Who the frick knows, right? But the second part is that this is actually a criticism I have. A big one is a negative one. Is that okay? You have this thing where he hates Yubok and has this thing with Hashwald, but I saw none of that. None of that before like the past few chapters. Like ever since flashback, which kind of it's bad because before, because it's like, okay, why did he join the Stern Raiders? Why did he never talk about... See, the thing about Grimjaw is that you knew Grimjaw hated Aizen because he would never refer to him with an honorific. He would always talk back, and he would always disobey orders. So you knew before the whole flashback thing that he didn't like Aizen.
And
Gin. Basby... You had no idea that he felt all this stuff. There was no hints, no foreshadowing. Before this, I literally thought he was like in love with Yubok just like everyone else. Hell, that's what everyone was doing when they were all Ichigo. Everyone's like, "Oh, how dare you touch His Majesty!"
I mean,
and then
he was standing out a little bit more from the others even early on as kind of a hothead.
Yeah.
Pun not intended, but pretty much right. He didn't really change his tune at all until he's the one who got shafted.
Yeah, and even when he was haunted, you still had this. Well, he might as well he still probably loves Yubok. But now we have this whole he hates him. He wanted to kill him, and that might be the reason why he joined the Stern Raider because he wanted to get powerful enough to kill him in the end. It's like wow. In fact, that makes it funny because now it happened to him first, and now he's all pissed off. It's like wow. Way to be a hypocrite, man.
Yeah.
It's just like, see, now that I think about it, it's just like, wow, his character is not consistent. You bring all this good stuff out, which is good. It's good characterization, but it's kind of like clashing with what we knew of him from before. Even if we didn't know much about him, it was still presented in a way that wasn't really consistent. And I didn't,
I mean, at the very least, we could see maybe like a scene of him by himself where he was chafing under being under Yok's rule or something like that.
Or something like that.
Or animosity towards Hashwald.
Yeah, any of that's good. Just a few scenes showing him rather than just him beating the shit out of Hitsugaya.
Here, for my thing, like I said, you were saying before that we now know of two Quincy with the power to give power. Yeah. I think there's a third.
Ichigo?
Yes, because he's got Quincy blood, and we know for a fact he was able to empower people just by being near them.
Oh yeah, shit, you're right! Okay. Oh yeah!
Now that's set up.
I remember that. I remember them saying that. Oh, he made Chad hella powerful. But they took that away and they gave credit to the Hoyuku and they gave credit to the Fullbringers. So they gave two contradicting explanations. Well, so are we gonna have a third contradicting explanation?
Are they contradicting explanations or are they wrong explanations that the characters who didn't know the Quincy heritage would have been aware of?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They're contradicting because one of them has to be wrong.
Right. I mean, that's fine. I mean, it could just be the first character got it wrong. That's perfectly fine. But also,
both got it wrong.
Yeah. Or, but like I said, we got Ichigo and Orihime and Chad. We also got Tatsuki and the two guys.
Okay, wait.
They gain spiritual awareness too.
Well, I just don't like the fact that they presented the initial explanations as, oh my gosh, this is actually the answer, and now it turns out it's not. It's just I didn't like the way that was presented. It's just like, okay, give us a damn answer. Otherwise, don't even bother with explaining at all. And
or at least maybe treat it as a theory. Like you're not sure if this is right, but this seems likely.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Because
well, then again, it's Aizen. He always acts like he knows everything.
No, but he does. That's the thing. He does know everything. And that's the scare that when he said it, he literally he felt like he was confident, he knew what he was talking about. And then when the Forebringers came in, it was like everything was explained, everything was perfect. It all fit in. His grandpa, or grandmother, whatever, got attacked by Hollow. It's like, okay, then what? Then why is it not this anymore? You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like, it's like the whole Ichigo becoming a Quincy thing. It's like, okay, you can put that together. But that doesn't really. It's not smooth. It's not smooth transitioning from. Oh, it turns out that Ichigo's not Quincy, not as Shinigami, a true Shinigami yet, or now he is. No, he's not. First,
of course, if my theory is right on this, I wonder how we're gonna see that presented when it comes up. Because is it gonna be a case will Ichigo empower his friends to be able to fight the Stern Ritter, or will he be silent? And he has to do that to help them win, or will he find someone to maybe take power back and even the playing field with him and Yuak?
Maybe he could cancel out the almighty powers and just makes him and Yubok fight fair 1-on-1.
Something like that. I mean, something's got to neutralize that power if it really is all-seeing. And Yuak's expecting to win because otherwise he wouldn't be at all worried about this.
And also, why does he? Why is he so affixed to Uryu? I get that Uryu survived the whole thing, but that cannot be the reason why you choose someone as your successor. In fact, why would you? And I think I asked this question: why would you even choose a successor if you're God?
Like someone you, or at least, and even then, someone you can't. Well, at this point, he's kind of planning to plant the Soul King, so there's at least logic to that point now. But now being the key word.
Oh, I mean, because he's a Soul King, he needs someone else to take over the organization.
Like to lead the Stern Ritter there. Could be.
Okay, but he's so affixed. I always wondered, he actually, I remember he wanted Ichigo to work for him. He even said, okay, he thought he killed Ichigo. He's like, okay, let's bring him back home and turn him to our side. I'm like, okay, so they want to brainwash Ichigo. And Ichigo just wakes up. He's like, nope, no. But it's just like, okay, so what? How does he obviously sees Ichigo as a threat if he's going to refer to him as one of the 5 powers. In fact, they even said the leader of the 5 powers. So to him, Ichigo's more of a threat than Aizen.
Or Kenpachi.
Yeah, and then he didn't even include Yamamoto in the 5 powers, which is insane if you think about it. But yeah, there's a lot of things that. But I like your theory. I mean, the problem again is going to be another. Oh, it turns out that these explanations are wrong, which is kind of like a fu, to the fans. To be honest with you, I mean, I get faking people out. I get that, but if it's done the way that Bleach has done it, where it's presented as 100% solid fact, and then you change it, it just doesn't.
If I'm understanding right, I think your issue isn't so much that we got a fake out, it's that we got a double fake out.
Yeah, but I mean, people had issue with the first fake out when it turns out that the Hogekyu wasn't the one that gave Chad his powers. It was actually because he was a Fullbringer, or it was just people didn't like that.
Of course, that still didn't explain where Hime did it.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't explain that. So is it just so maybe it was both. Maybe the Hogekyu enhanced the speed. I don't know. That's the problem we have.
Or maybe their experiences are what allowed Ichigo to give them enough power to make them into actual fighters. It was a combination of factors.
Well, here's the thing. Well, I mean, no, because the other Fullbringers were not around Ichigo when they still had their Fullbringer powers.
Well, I mean, in Chad's, not so much the Fullbring, but just Chad's powers in general.
Well, what would Chad have been? Why would Chad have been any different to the other Fullbringers? If he wasn't around Ichigo, how would it have changed?
Well, I'm not so much thinking about that. I mean, maybe he wouldn't have gotten the full hollow arm power that he had.
Maybe saying it wouldn't have developed. He wouldn't have become as powerful. Okay.
Yeah, same as Orihime. Like they had experiences with the supernatural prior to this. Whatever. Okay. But his other friends, they didn't have that. They just became spiritually aware.
Yeah, the problem is the issue I think people had also was that you had a different theory that contradicts the previous one. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that it was never actually addressed. It was a fan oh my gosh, this is actually contradicting. But no one in the Bleach universe actually said, wait a second, this is not what Aizen said at all. And the fact that it wasn't even addressed in the Bleach universe is what pisses people off. So maybe you can say something maybe you can find a way to make it all of them right. Okay, Ichigo had some powers that he could give other people, but then the Hokage enhanced those powers because maybe Ichigo's not Yubok. So even if because obviously he's not as strong as Yubok, so maybe the Hokage enhanced it and then made everyone give powers, and then with Chad, who already had Fullbringer powers, it enhanced him even further. Whereas with Orihime, she just got whole new abilities. Because if we think about it, it's not like Tatsuki or the other people got Fullbringer powers, right? So. Right. Maybe you can find a way to say, okay, well, Ichigo had those powers, where he can give it to other people. You got the Hogekyu to enhance it, and then the fact that just Chad already had those powers, and so therefore everything's fine.
Chad and Orihime, their own experiences that gave them that extra push of potential.
Well, I mean, with Chad more because we don't. Orihime is not a Fullbringer. At least
Well,
not.
no, but she still had an experience like with Supernatural and Hollows.
Yeah, she did. But she's not a Fullbringer, so she's a little different than Chad. But it's same in the sense that they got enhanced. Just that she was enhanced in whatever the frick her powers were, because it's again her powers are still not explained. They're just there. But with Chad, it's like okay, he's a Fullbringer, and they enhanced him. And maybe had he not been with Ichigo and Hogyaku around, with them around, he maybe would have stayed in like level 1 forever.
Right.
But maybe with Ichigo, it was able to transform into those 2 arms things.
Yep.
But yeah, okay.
Right. But like I said, I think at that point we've got everything kind of covered. I'm feeling good about that theory. I want to see if I'm right, if anything actually comes of that with each.
Well, it's actually good.
Quincy power giver.
No, it's good. I mean, I actually wouldn't have thought that.
And actually, I think it explains something else. Weren't you saying once before that we haven't really seen Ichigo do anything Quincy like with his powers?
Oh, bravo! I'm gonna clap for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I mean, actually, I did suspect that he was probably the third, but I had no evidence to back it up, so I didn't say anything. But you obviously brought out 2 good points that he did enhance everyone's powers, supposedly. That's what.
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
what
like I said, theory, hypothesis.
Well, actually, the thing is, though, it's not even. Actually, no, take it back. It wasn't even the third. This is not the third explanation. It was the original explanation that got taken over by the Hogyaku explanation, that got taken over by the Fullbringer explanation, and now it's brought back to the original explanation. That's why I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's the double fake out that gets you.
Well, it's not even double fake. It's like going back to the original. So it's like it's a triple agent. It's like a triple agent.
Yeah.
It's just weird, but yeah, no, you got the good evidence. You got the whole he enhanced people's powers, and the fact that he's never actually done anything Quincy like. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, at this point, I think we've got Bleach about covered here for the week. Like I said, we got some good theories on here. Hopefully, like I said, anybody watch this video, let us know what you think of the theories. I mean, see if you could put your own 2 cents in. Meantime, like I said, this week we've also got, along with Bleach, we'll have Naruto, the final chapter of the Salad Adventure, One Piece, the end of reaching the end of the Dressrosa, and then there should be a new chapter of Inside Mori, though that one might be a little late depending on how cooperative Crunchyroll feels like being. Meantime, go ahead and take us away.
Bye.